the fire. All eyes on me when I run. Stacking wins, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure heavy, weigh a ton.
Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. We're at it again, aren't we? Another day, another draw, another analysis of what went wrong, what was right, what was wrong. This is like Groundhog Day, isn't it? What is going on? What is going on with Man United and these bloody draws? And this was our easy running, by the way. The games that we were meant to win and bag 3 points. And I think what we had about 5-6 games which we should have quite easily won and got 3 points. And now we're in a position where we're going to actually go and face some hard competition, some difficult games. We are going to be up against it. We're going to be up against it. And yesterday, after Newcastle got their result and jumped above us, it looked even worse. It looked even worse. And the result against Burnley was not what we wanted. Not what we wanted. Of course, there was positives. There were positives. I'm not going to ignore the positives. But how long are we going to start, carry on looking at positives? The little positives that we pick out and say, give us hope. But in reality, it's an absolute shit show. It's a shit show and someone needs to call it out like it is. Look, I'm all for being positive. I'm actually myself looking for any glimpses of positivity from the game last night. And I'm like, look, please give us something to kind of look forward to. But last night's game, it didn't fill me with any confidence going forward. Look, there were some positives. Like I say, I think Sesko was brilliant. He got his 2 goals. I've been waiting for the day where he actually gets some goals, and you could immediately see he was brimming with confidence straight after the 2 goals. You could see he was up for it and he was looking for his hat-trick, and he was unlucky. He could have actually got his 3rd goal as well. I think the substitutions were questionable. Fletcher taking off Bruno Fernandes immediately after getting the 2 goals and taking the lead. I think he should have left him on slightly longer just to kind of see out the game. We needed still to control the game. We still maybe would have benefited from a 3rd goal. And of course, we should have scored a 3rd goal because Burnley came back with an astonishing goal. Another worldie. Why the F are we conceding worldies? Why does every bloody player turn into prime bloody, Zidane? Or flipping, we get flipping the best strikers, R9s and shit, coming up against us. They just turn into world-class strikers. These shitty strikers you don't even know of suddenly turn into the best bloody strikers in the world and shoot from miles away and score. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. Why did it happen against... I saw it coming in as well. I could see. I was like, right, okay, if this guy lets off a shot, we're shafted. But it's just pinpoint perfect. I mean, right in the corner. There's nothing that Senny Lemons can do. Why? Why against us? Why does everyone turn up against us? Burnley, Wolves, flipping everyone, you name it, wants to play against United and screw us over. Are we that easy to play against? Are we? Well, actually we are. Let's be honest. We're pretty bad. We're pretty bad defensively. We are awful this season. And it's not even the defence that I actually blame. I keep saying it. I keep saying it that it's the midfield. It's the midfield who allow these players to kind of walk in and go against one-on-one against our defenders. They shouldn't really be given that time, given that opportunity. We should be cutting any kind of attack out even before it reaches our defence. That's our last line of defence, essentially, right? We don't want our centre-backs compromised. We don't want our centre-backs having to make last-ditch efforts throughout the game. Of course, we're going to end up conceding otherwise. We want them to be like making them kind of tackles one-off, not every 5 minutes in the game. Burnley, we made look good again. Apart from, I'd say Sesko, I thought Bruno Fernandes looked brilliant. up in that position, in his preferred position, and we can see the damage that he can do and the link-up play that he had with Sesko. That's what I was talking about. This is pre-game. I was talking about, oh, look, this is it. This is his preferred position. He's arguably our best player on the pitch if he's played in the right position. And yeah, Ruben Amorim was absolutely, it was criminal of him playing him out of position. What else? The defence, I thought, let's just go through the team quickly and then we'll go on and chat about everything else, what we need to talk about. Obviously, the news coming out in terms of the new interim manager. INEOS are looking to appoint, or they're still trying to work out who it is, whether it's Carrick, whether it's Solskjaer. They're undecided right now. It still looks like odds on that Ollie's going to get the job, but they are exploring Carrick as an option. I think they might just bring him on, and I think Carrick's going to say, look, I'm more than happy to take the assistant role next to Ollie, and I think that's how it's going to happen. Unless they want either Ollie or Carrick to take the lead and have Fletcher as their assistant. Again, I don't trust INEOS as far as I can throw them. I really don't trust them. I just feel like they just don't have a clue as to what they're doing. They're just making it up as they go along. They're making it up as they go along. And we are sat here thinking, nah, they must know what they're doing. Surely they must know what they're doing. But they don't. It's clear they don't know what they're doing. Like, literally, as they go along, they make it up. Yesterday, after the game, they apparently approached Fletcher and said, look, you're in charge of the Brighton game as well. We've decided. We've seen enough evidence that you're good enough to manage for another game. So, again, what is all that about? What is their forward planning? It's like they day to day, they're making it up as they go along. So it's like today, right, okay, we get up this morning, right, let's see what we have to do to keep this club running. No wonder the players put in performances like they do, because they know there's nothing that's going to come on them. Nothing. No one's going to question them, because there's such a shit show behind the scenes that they know the last thing these people will do is come and start speaking to them about their performances, because it's going to be easy to deflect it. Yeah, the players are going to say, you're running an absolute shit show. You're lucky we're even here. I can't even see Bruno Fernandes lasting. I think if an offer comes in, I think if the rumours are true and Al Hilal are going to put in an offer for Bruno, if that does happen in January, and if it is in the region of 100 mil, I think Bruno Fernandes will turn around to the club and say, sell me, I want to leave. I think that will happen. I can't see him saying, no, I want to stay on. I want to carry on. And I don't want to jump off the Titanic. There's a lifeboat coming, and they're asking me to jump in. It's not even a bloody lifeboat. It's a bloody yacht, isn't it? It's a yacht coming alongside the Titanic. A luxury yacht. Everything there that you need. Beautiful. Full of all the best things in life. And the yacht's just coming next to the Titanic and saying, we want Bruno Fernandes, thank you very much. Come on, mate. We'll pay you handsomely. We'll look after you. Jump across. What do you think Bruno Fernandes is probably going to do in that situation? Of course, he's going to be like, right, okay, either I sink on this Titanic, or I jump over into that beautiful yacht and go off into the sunset. Go off and enjoy life. And that's the reality right now of United. We are a complete clown show. We're a complete circus, whatever you want to call it. And Ruben Amorim getting the sack, we all saw last night, was not the issue. We all got to see it. I think we all were doing the same thing. We were sat there, we were watching the game, and in the first 20 minutes of the game, we were like, uh-oh, looking at each other thinking, shit, Ruben wasn't the problem. Ruben wasn't the issue, guys. Oh, shit, do we say this out aloud? Do you think we'll be crucified by those fans who were Ruben Amorim out? Will they start on us? I think there's a real fear right now in the public arena about letting your opinion be known, right? Because there's a fear, because you get jumped on. You get absolutely harassed by a certain crowd, whether you're in Ruben in, or whether you're Ruben out. Whatever it was, it's just toxic. Allow everyone to have their opinion, whether it's you believe in it, whether you agree with it or not. Who gives a shit? Shut up and let them say what they want to say. Why do we have to jump on everybody who says Ruben Amorim in? And why do we have to jump on everybody who says Ruben Amorim out? I've said it to you many times. I didn't like Ruben Amorim's tactics. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with what he was doing with the players. I wasn't happy the way he was wasting players at United. I thought Bruno Fernandes, and I was right, Bruno Fernandes was being wasted in that centre mid position. I'm also going to be right about Kobe Mainoo. Watch. He's going to come good. I thought he was being wasted in this Man United team. Of course, he wasn't even getting any game time. Sesko, again, I felt like should be doing better. And now yesterday's game proved that, yes, if you give him the service, he will score. He has got that in him. We've seen he's got that in him. He can put the ball into the back of the net. Just give him the opportunities. And still, yesterday's performance was not up to standard. It wasn't. I think in the first 20, 30 minutes, you saw the players were still kind of confused. Kind of didn't know what to do with all that freedom that they were given. They were like, shit, we're going to revert. We'll just revert back to what we were doing under Ruben Amorim. Look, it's hard. It's hard. It's been an absolute roller coaster for them since Sunday afternoon or Monday morning when they found out they came into training and boom, Ruben Amorim's gone and you're not playing through it at the back anymore. And they're thinking, all right, okay, what do we do? And then, of course, look, Fletcher's come in and he's not had him for training for long. I think now in the couple of days he's got him, he might be able to sit him down and obviously explain how he wants them to play, but he didn't have him for long. For this game against Burnley was always going to be a bit choppy. Always going to be a bit choppy, and it was a bit of a Frankenstein type of team. We weren't sure what they were doing, who was doing what role they were playing. It just looked really weird and strange, didn't it? I don't know whether we as fans have got so used to seeing Ruben Amorim's three at the back and the way they were playing with Ruben Amorim that we were so gobsmacked to see the players playing a different role. Of course, Bruno Fernandes as well. But look, there's big question marks, and I don't care who comes in, we've still got issues. We've still got issues in this team, and you'll be short-sighted to think that we're going to get a bounce from any manager coming in. This isn't like a situation where the players had down tools and were not playing for Ruben Amorim, even though at times it did look like they were bloody awful, but that was just their shit. The players are shit. It wasn't that they're down tools. They were actually trying their utmost to actually win games, but they're just shit. They're just shit. I don't know how I can say it any other way. The players are shit. We need better players in this team. And do you know what? I keep saying it, and some fans just don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the reality because it's too hard for them to comprehend. It's too hard for them to actually fathom that we need to go and spend money. And they keep on making excuses for INEOS and the Glazers. And I'm thinking, it's not your bloody money. Who gives a shit if they need to go and spend 100 mil? It's not your money. If they don't spend it, they're going to put it into their back pocket. Are you happy for them to do that? Are you happy for the Glazers to spend it on themselves or INEOS to put it in their back pocket? Because that's what essentially you're saying. You're saying, oh, United don't need to go and buy more players. Right, okay, so you want them to keep the money then? You want them to keep the money that they're making from United in their back pocket. Otherwise, that's what else do you want? It is absolute madness. So yesterday's game, look, it proved to us that Casemiro's shit. Casemiro is shit. He's not good enough. And how many times are we going to make up excuses for him? Man, I've had enough. Yes, he has a decent game here and there, but he's shit, man. He's a retired shit player, man. And why are we the only team that have to deal with this shit? Why are we the only team that bring in players like this and then gas them up? Oh my God, they're brilliant. Yeah, they're the best player ever. And bullshit, man. They're shit players. Ugarte, shit player. Luke Shaw, how the fuck is he still in this club? How the hell is he still at United? I swear, I look at him and think, this guy, and someone needs to sit down with him. He could write a bloody book on survival, because this guy, do you know what? We could throw this dude into the middle of the jungle, and I bet you'd come out after about 5 days. This guy will come out without a scratch on him. Luke Shaw is, the grand survivor, man. He's just crazy. like I say, look, it wasn't. It was always about the players. It was always about the investment that we failed to put into this squad. Whilst other teams around us in the Premier League across Europe have consistently been adding, been building, we've stopped building. We stopped putting money into this team. We stopped bringing in top players. We've just hoped that the players that we have brought in will do a good enough job and keep us intact with the rest of them. That's what we've done under the Glazers, and now we continue with INEOS. But INEOS are experts. They're brilliant at knowing exactly how to manipulate fans. And we saw the two clowns yesterday in Barada and Wilcox sat there like criminals. They were sat there. You could see on their faces, it was written all over their faces, that they were shitting it. They were shitting it because they knew, right, we're in the public eye now. We've been hidden. Ruben Amorim was covering up our shit, but he kind of let slip. He let just enough out of the bag for the fans to kind of start questioning, yeah, who the fuck is Wilcox? And who's Brada? And what are they doing? Why are they dictating how United should be playing? What experience has Wilcox got? You know, if he was that good, why is he not the manager? And Brada, if he was that good, why is he not the manager? You know, it's absolute heads gone. We've got complete idiots running the show, telling experienced managers or good managers exactly what to do. And that's what happened with Ruben Amorim. It was Wilcox who has no clue. He doesn't know where his face is or arse is, right? And he's coming over and telling Ruben Amorim, right, okay, do you know what? You need to change your formation. And the reason why you need to do that is because my boss, INEOS, Jim Ratcliffe, is not willing to, spend money to rebuild this squad. That's what it all came down to. It all came down to that. And last night we were all watching and we all knew, look, shit, this has never been about the manager. Yes, Ruben Amorim was stubborn. Yes, he was playing the wrong system. And yes, maybe he was not getting the best out of certain players. But it's never been about the manager. The next manager comes in, we're going to see the same shit. We saw it last night, and yeah, Fletcher can do the same against Brighton. We might see Ollie or Carrick, whoever it is who takes the lead, is going to do the same thing. Our season could be on the verge of collapse, if not already collapsing. You know, we just woke up yesterday and we started seeing the table and we're like, oh my God, we've dropped so quickly. We've dropped from possible third, and we've gone down to seventh within one game. And we drew that game. We didn't even lose. So that I've been warning everybody about. I've been saying, look, guys, we need to take advantage of this. We're going to drop really quickly if we cannot make up these points. If we can't get these points, we're going to go down the table like a sack of potatoes. We're going to drop quick. We're going to drop because there's not much points difference between the teams, man. There is hardly any points difference. If you look at the table, there's not much in, sitting in fourth and sitting in 10th. So we needed to take advantage. We have now lost out that advantage. We've lost that advantage because we had an easy run of games where we were expected to get 3 points. And this was probably the last game where we were looking at thinking, of course, it's 3 points, surely. Now, I'm not saying we would have got these 3 points under Ruben Amorim either. We all know that, look, with Ruben Amorim, it was still looking a bit dire. I mean, Wolves was the prime example. Everton, 10 men, prime example. So I'm not saying, look, I'm crying over spilt milk. I'm just telling you that it's bigger than the manager. It's bigger. This issue is bigger than the manager. It's like blaming, like I said, I've done a video. It's going to come out later on, but it's like blaming the middleman for doing something that he's not responsible for. I read an article actually this morning, and it was like someone saying, "Oh, look, Ruben Amorim, it's like blaming the takeaway delivery driver, right? He's come in with the food, and you've blamed him because the food's not good, and well, he's not made the food, so why would you blame him?" That's essentially what we're doing with Ruben Amorim. We're blaming Ruben Amorim for an issue that he's not caused. He's not invested in this squad. He's not bought these players in. He's having to work with these players, but he's not responsible for causing this mess. but yet we're blaming him, or we did blame him. Obviously, he's gone off now, and I feel we're going to look back at this stage, and we're going to look back at this point in Man United's history and be regretful. I think we will, because we've trusted in complete clowns. That's what we're doing. We're trusting complete clowns, and the biggest is Ratcliffe. He sat there and he thinks he can run the team by looking at data, by looking at stats, and that's how everything's going to work. Absolute clueless owners. So yesterday's game, look, it had positives. Like I said, Sesko, I was really happy that he got a brace. I felt like his confidence increased near the end of the game. Zertsky coming on, what was the flipping point in that? What was the point of subbing Haven if he didn't have an injury? I don't understand that. Why? That for me is the cardinal sin. As a manager, do not change your two centre-backs. Do not do that. You just do not do that midway. You got to see out the game. No matter what's happening, whether Haven was having a good game or a bad game, I thought he was all right, but just leave him out there. Lenny Euro came on, and I think it disrupted the whole balance of the defence. And they were, Leacher is used to playing with Haven right now, and then suddenly he's gone off, and I thought it just ruined the balance. And then the only other really positive thing was Lacey. Lacey coming on, seeing what he was doing. You could just see he was just playing with freedom, wasn't he? That's what you like to see. And yeah, the good signs there. If he could carry on performing like that, oh my God, that first shot that he hit the crossbar with, I honestly thought that's going in. I thought that's gone in, and it's going to be a worldie. And just, it went into slow motion, didn't it? Everything went into slow motion as soon as he let it rip. And you just thought, oh, it's going in. It's gone. It's beat the keeper. And then it hit the crossbar. Oh, it was hard to watch. But look, I wasn't disappointed with the result, because I kind of knew that we might end up with throwing this away. We might not get the result that we want, because it's Fletcher's first game, and his first time he spoke to the players was 24 hours before the game. So he needed more time, and we need to now have a plan in place. Now, earlier this morning, we started getting further news about how INEOS are still considering the new interim job. We know Brighton game, Fletcher will be in charge for that, so they've bought themselves more time. I genuinely thought we'd get an announcement by Friday, but they've delayed that because clearly they're not sure as to which two managers, which of the two managers they should be taking, Carrick or Solskjaer, as interim managers. I don't know what your opinion on it is. I don't really like either. I'm being honest here. It doesn't fill me with excitement. It kind of like says, right, okay, yeah, look, we've been there, done that. I just feel like these two guys are coming in. INEOS have brought them in because they know that they won't question INEOS and what they're doing. In fact, I think INEOS are going to trial out this period just to see if they can keep these guys on long term. Number one, it's not costing them much. And number two, they'll know that they can dictate to them how they want United to be playing. If Wilcox is going to run the show from behind the scenes and call the shots in terms of formation and tactics and stuff, well, yeah, then again, this is the problem we've got. We've got someone who's not the manager, but he's going to run everything else. He's going to be the manager, but he's not the manager. He's officially not the manager, but he will do everything the manager is meant to be doing. And essentially, the forward-facing, whether it's Carrick or Solskjaer, is just there to do the press conferences. Essentially, that's what I suspect. That's what I think they're getting. They're getting someone who's just going to do the press conferences and just keep heat off them. That's what it is. And if shit goes wrong, guess who gets the sack? Yes, you've got it. It's going to be the person that they bring in, Ollie or Carrick. And all the fans, yes, you get it. All the fans are going to give abuse to either Ollie or Carrick. And that's how it works, unfortunately. Fans do not understand the deeper, setup of the football club. They don't understand that the calls are always made by the owners, the Glazers and Jim Ratcliffe, always make the final decision. They're the ones who start this, and they're the ones it ends up with when it comes to anybody getting the sack. And yeah, they're clearly happy with the two clowns that they've got working for them. Let me go to the chats and let's see what everyone else feels like this morning after yesterday's result. Jim, welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. Jim says, owners are smart. Keep this interim coach going. And no one is talking about signings in the midfield. Yeah, it was obvious last night. We needed signings. And we did. Well, we're just watching it. Anyone would have done. Anyone, right? I'm absolutely surprised that these guys are watching this game, and that tells me how shit they are at running the club. Because anybody else would be like, right, okay, doesn't matter which manager we're getting or we haven't got or we're sacking Ruben Amorim, we've sacked him. We still need a midfielder in that team. We still need some reinforcements. We can't rely on the players that we've got. Casemiro, Ugarte are not good enough. How much more do we need to see? How much more? They're just not consistent. Ugarte, actually, to be fair, had a decent game yesterday. He wasn't that bad, although his passing is horrendous. I mean, my gran can pass better than that. Seriously, he's that bad at passing. But he was pretty good defensively. I thought he was pretty good. I can't wait for Bruno to go. Sick of people waxing lyrical about Bruno. It can be great, but he still makes too many mistakes, still mourning at the ref. Yeah, look, he's not going to change that. He's not going to change the mourning aspect of it. That's what he feels like. He's already said, look, that's me. The things I blame INEOS or Wilcox and Omar is that they hired Amorim. A year later, you realise it was a mistake, then they just sack him and hire a 4-3-3 manager you want. Don't force changes to Amorim. Exactly. Look, they've got a lot to answer for here, and I feel like everyone's just ignored it. Everyone's just looked immediately past it. It's like the most obvious reason for why things are not working is the way INEOS are moving. Yet, we all are thinking that, just because we're going to change the manager, everything's going to be fine. It's just ridiculous. I just cannot understand how people think that just by changing the manager, things will be fine. Just don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. They tried to make Amorim change his formation is because they didn't want to pay compensation money and also admit their mistakes. Yeah, look, what happened was it was clear. And it all goes back to Dan Ashworth. And the news coming out now is really interesting because it comes back to Dan Ashworth and how he warned them. He said, look, the formation this guy plays, he's a good manager, top manager. Yes, I can see why you want him at United, but guess what? The formation he plays, we haven't got players to fit in that formation. We will need to go out there and invest and put in another 500 mil plus to go out and get the players that he needs to play in this system and formation. And of course, as soon as Jim heard that he had to spend some money and 500 mil, I think, probably would have nearly killed him. He thought, right, I'm getting rid of that guy. I'm getting rid of Dan Ashworth because how dare he suggest I'm going to spend money today? I'm going to have to spend money on United. So he got rid of him immediately. And then, obviously, as it's panned out, yeah, he was right. But also, Amorim, my G, you had Lacey against Wolves, and yet you played Fletcher and then Mentato in the right wing. Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. Last night, there are things that Ruben Amorim's pulled, which I wasn't satisfied with, and I can see exactly why the Amorim outers were not satisfied with. And when I hear Amorim, the ones who support Amorim, talk about Ruben Amorim, I'm thinking, well, you're ignoring everything else what he did wrong. Let's be honest. There's a long list of things that even Ruben Amorim did that he got wrong, and you could, yeah, it's it's obvious he was either looking to get sacked at one point. He was like, right, okay, I'm not going to change my ways. I'm not getting the backing from you guys. And yeah, you might as well sack me. And I think that's what it is. Lacey was sensational yesterday. He came on and he looked like we've discovered a new signing. A new signing. It was that good. And I just thought, wow, this is what we've been missing. So we have got players in this squad, in the academy, that can play football. We just need to nurture them and bring them through. And of course, look, Fletcher knows Lacey well. He knows what he can do. So, of course, when he brought him on, he knew, right, okay, yeah, go and do what you need to do. I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed watching that. I really enjoyed watching that cameo that he put in. Haven was having a bad game also in the second game in a row where him directly led to the opponent scoring. He's young. He will learn. Hope to see him and Euro in the back four. Yeah, look, I can't hold anything against Haven. I just think he's brilliant. I think he's really, really good. I think at one point I was like, look, I find it difficult how anyone else is going to get into his position now. Obviously, De Ligt still out. He's going to come back. I don't know what the best two centre-back pairing will be going forward. Again, it will be interesting to see who we get as the manager. I still think it's going to be Ollie. I still think that the board, despite not knowing what the flip they're doing, I think they're going to end up going with Ollie just because he's got more experience. He's a lot more forward facing. He knows how to talk. You know, he's better with the press and things. I think Carrick is a little bit shy. I can't imagine Carrick doing a team talk. Although of course he's been the caretaker manager as well. But you know, you need a long stint in the United job to show what you can actually do. I just think, I think for now, I think Ollie will be the option. I think that's who they're going to go for. But you know, you never know. You never know. I'm shocked that they've taken so long to even decide this, because I thought it was obvious a day or two ago that it's going to be Ollie. But they clearly are still undecided, and they're not sure. They're still thinking about Carrick. Give me Enrique and Encompass from PSG as a manager and director of football, and we are good. But again, I think that this belief that INEOS are going to do anything positive or anything that actually makes us better, I think this is where we're misleading ourselves, because INEOS are not capable of making them decisions. INEOS are not capable of making decisions that actually benefit the club, because their position is that they look at everything they're making, before they make that decision, they look at their pocket. They look at the financial hit that might come as a result of making that decision. That's all they care about. They care about the finances. They care about the bottom line. They don't care about whether this is going to benefit or it's not going to benefit United. That's the problem. We've got owners who don't care actually about what's going on the pitch. When it comes down to it, what they do care about is finances, penny pinching. They care about the little things, and they think that they will make a difference. That's the problem we've got. We've got a huge, huge problem in the way INEOS approach things. So yes, in the ideal world, if we had an owner who money was no object to, or really didn't think that deep about money, like we've got across the city with Man City and Chelsea and Newcastle and even Arsenal, where they will be like, right, okay, let's go. If this is what our manager wants, let's go and get it. If this is what's going to benefit the club, let's go and do it. So in terms of Enrique, yes, he would be perfect to come in if he's available. But I cannot see INEOS letting go of this control that they want over the club. This was the whole reason why he went. This is the whole reason why Ruben Amorim was sacked. It was because they wanted control. They wanted control over everything that was going on the pitch. Everything from formation to system to players coming and leaving, coming and going, transfers that they feel like we don't need to go and make. So what I'm hearing is that they still, right now, are telling Ollie or Carrick within the meetings, they are saying, look, we believe that we don't need to go and sign anybody. We've still got a good enough squad to compete in the Premier League and, of course, in the FA Cup. And we haven't got any more games. So we've got enough players to go around, and that's it. So when it comes to the summer, that's when we're going to maybe think about signing new players. But my position is, come summer, we might not even be in the Champions League spots. Well, we won't be in the Champions League spot. We're not in the Champions League spots. We have drifted. We've drifted, and we're going to carry on doing that until we don't wake up and realise that we need to actually bring in players that can do a decent job. The Casemiros and the Ugates are not that. We've got no midfield. And until we don't rectify that, we're going to be at this crossroads for I don't know how long. We're going to be talking about this issue. I can see ourselves next game and the next game and the next game coming back, doing the same discussion, talking about what went wrong. What went wrong? Why did we not win yesterday? And it all comes back to controlling the game. And we do not control any football game, whether it was under Ruben Amorim or now. We do not control football games. And the only way you control football games is you put those players in the middle of that pitch and they keep the ball. We are useless at keeping the ball. We're useless. It's like, in fact, as soon as we take the lead, we're almost like, oh shit, we've taken the lead. How dare we do that? Give the ball back to them. You go and score. That's what we do. It's like clockwork. If you watch United, every time they take the lead, it's almost like they're confused. They don't know what to do when they're in the lead. They don't know how to control the game. So they're like, we can't deal with this shit. What do we do? We're leading. Just give the ball back to them and let them dictate what should be going on. And of course, teams love that. They're like, okay, we get the ball. We get to dictate what to do. And guess what United do? They move back. Further back and further back and further back and further back and further back. They drop back, drop back, drop back. You know it's coming. We as a fan base can see it coming. That fear within us. We know it's coming. A goal is coming. An equaliser is coming. And immediately, as soon as I got the equaliser, I turned around and I said, look, there's no way we're going to score now. I can't see. It's going to be very difficult for us to score because we've lost our creative player in Bruno, and we've got nobody else there. And look, I'm worried. I know Jim says, look, he wants to see the back of Bruno, and to be honest with you, there's times earlier on this season where I was again thinking the same. I was like, right, okay, I want Bruno out. He's just a waste of space. He's not good in that centre mid position. But if he's going to play this cam position, I don't think we can afford to lose him right now because we haven't got a like for like replacement. We haven't got even a half a replacement. Someone who can mimic half of what Bruno does. We saw it yesterday. Trust me, we will end up missing him once he leaves. Because we haven't got another player like Bruno in this squad. And that's what I've been saying. We need to go and search for players. We need to bring in players. Because, look, we know Bruno's ready to leave. We know it's on the cards. We know it could happen any time. So why sit there and wait for it to happen? Why not plan for the future? And that's my major criticism of INEOS. They claim they know what they're doing. They claim they know how to run a football club, but their actions prove otherwise. They're absolutely shit. They don't know what they're doing. And neither do Wilcox or Brada. They are just way out of their depth. And we need people to come in who actually know what they're doing. But I don't think Jim wants that. I don't think Jim wants people in who will call him out because he's a billionaire. And you know what billionaires are like? Billionaires are cleverer than the normal people out there. They're more intelligent. They're more superior. These billionaires are, superhuman. Jim Ratcliffe is much wiser than any of us in the fan base. He knows more about football than everybody. He's superhuman. He can do a lot more because that's what these billionaires believe. in their head, this is what they believe. They believe that they know exactly how to do things, and everybody else is below par. They don't know. They're just common folk, right? They're common folk. You know, the guy who's been watching United play for the past 40 years or something, he doesn't know anything about football. But I do, because I've got money. I've got money. I'm a billionaire. So that's what we've got. That's what we've got. Not going to lie, I'm starting to get, I'm worried about Kuna. Shit at the right wing. Then Fletcher moved Bruno from the cam position to play Kuna there, and he got even more involved. Yet another bad half. Yeah, I'm worried about Kuna as well, guys. I think I've called it out before. I called it out yesterday as well. I think, yeah, he had a decent game against Leeds, but the performance against Wolves was awful. I think last night was an awful performance. I'm not quite sure whether he's just not getting it because he's been asked to play different positions or what, but he looked really bad. Just everything he did was awful. He had no composure on the ball, couldn't keep the ball, couldn't pass the ball, couldn't dribble. He just couldn't do anything. And his shots were awful. He was just, yeah, I don't think the positioning suited him. I don't think the position suited him. And I fear that he's going to get dropped as soon as we get our full players back. If Ahmad gets back and Bumo gets back and we've got Sesko scoring and we've got Bruno, we've got Mount, I think Kuna will get dropped. I really do. I can't see him getting playing like that. Playing like that, I think he would struggle. I believe in INEOS in non-existence now. It was hope. Enrique probably will end up at Liverpool or City. Probably we will end up with someone like McKenna from Ipswich who they can control. Yep, that's right. That is it, man. That is it. They want people. They don't want superstar personalities. They don't want managers with auras and charisma and, you know, something about them. They don't want managers like that. Come on, guys. We need to accept INEOS don't want any personalities in this club who know what they're talking about, who are confident in their own abilities. They don't want people like that at this club. Let's get real. They want people who will say, yes, how high do you want me to jump? That's what they want. Hence why they're probably thinking they've hit jackpot with Solskjaer and Carrick coming in, right? Because they know both can be manipulated. That's what they're there for. The reasons why they don't like other personalities like Keane and Scholes and players like that, ex-players, is they can't control them. They can't control what they're thinking. But as soon as they try, they will get in. They'll try, though. They will try. You know, you see Rio Ferdinand and he's singing off their hymn sheet. I mean, he is proper in there with them. He's licking their backside, but that's because they're giving him access. They gave him access to Ruben Amorim. They're giving him access to the training facilities. Not long ago, he's got full access to Carrington. So that access comes with, you know, you're going to have to sell a little bit of your soul. You're going to have to sell a little bit of your soul to get access. That's how it works, unfortunately. So if anyone is getting access like Rio Ferdinand with United, it's coming at a cost. It's coming at a cost. And that cost is his independence. So he can't come out and say, oh, yeah, INEOS are shit and they're running a complete shit show and they don't know what they're doing. Because, yeah, you know, it's going to mean he can't get any access. And if that means he can't do any content, you know, that's how it works, unfortunately. So be careful. Be careful who you listen to. And if you hear me, if you watch me in the future and I've got access to Man United and I'm doing interviews with the players, you know, that's a sign. That's a sign I've been bought off, guys. I've been bought off. So, yeah, be careful. Manchester United way, no surprise that this game Bruno moved to the cam position and Sesko got so many chances. Kuna behind him never created set for Sesko. A lot of the time it's just dribble and lose the ball. Yep, 100%. That's exactly what I see. When I see Bruno, I see Kuna playing in that position, that's again and again, I see him just trying to dribble through the players. And I'm thinking, No, you don't. It doesn't work like that. You can't walk through the bloody defenders, can you, you idiot? But he tries. He thinks that it will work. But yeah, it might come off once in a while when the defender's not expecting you to run directly at him. But most of the times, you know, the defender's just stood there and he's just walking right into him, and they'll get the ball off of you. That's why I'm saying I want us to plan for the future. Bruno can help us to get to the top 4, but he's not the future. I'm not a Bruno hater. I don't hate anyone. Look, I agree with you. I agree. We need to plan for the future. We need to plan for the future. We need to understand there is going to be no Bruno. There is going to be no Casemiro. There will be no Ugarte. There'll be no Harry Maguire. There'll be no Luke Shaw. That's what we need to do. We need to start planning. They're probably not going to be Leacher for too long either. So we need to start planning for the future. We need to start looking at bringing in young talent that can start playing for us. And unfortunately, I can't see that happening. And until that doesn't happen, we're still going to be kind of lingering. We're going to be lingering around thinking, what are United actually doing? Where are we going? And INEOS, they promised us the world and they've given us jack shit. That's what it is. They've given us jack shit. They continue to give us jack shit. He will go in the summer, but I don't believe INEOS will replace him. Casemiro, Ugarte in one summer, going in out as well. I think. Yeah, you're saying. Yeah, we're not going to replace him. We can't afford to replace him. Even if we get 100 mil from the sale of Bruno, we haven't got the money to go and buy someone who's identical, a young Bruno, shall we say. I just can't see it happening. I can't see it happening unless, number one, everyone's looking for a young Bruno, right? Everyone, Real Madrid, Barca have actually got some decent midfielders in that position. But everyone else is there looking out for the next Modric, Bruno Fernandes, and that kind of player, the creative type of player that can unlock defenses. We need that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. We'll, of course, come back tomorrow with a show on an update, hopefully, on who gets appointed. We've not been told. Of course, Fletcher is in charge of the Brighton game, but I still expect some news to come out in terms of who United have gone for. Of course, they're going to give the new manager some time. They're not going to bring him in on Friday and expect him to take charge of the Brighton game. So I think they will still announce somebody tomorrow or over the weekend, and we will then see them actually gradually come in and take charge, whoever that might be. And my money's still on INEOS appointing Solskjaer. I still think they're going to probably go for Solskjaer, but Carrick can come in as well, I guess, if they like the sound of what Carrick's telling him. It's all about who can lick the arse the best. That's all it is. I'm be frank with you. If Solskjaer says I can lick it clean, they're going to be like, right, okay, Carrick, can you do a good enough job as well? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for puppets. They're looking for guys who will say, yes, I'll accept whatever you tell me to do, and I will not question your authority. Boom, you've got the job. You've got the job. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to hear. Anyway, guys, leaving it there. Thanks very much. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. You're watching the Man United Stream channel, a channel by the fans,